Assalamu alaikum students. How was your weekend?
Great.
Good. We are still one short of our troops. Soman?
Yes.
Still recovering?
Yes, sir.
Chale. Good. Yeah, during our last session, we actually watched a documentary on Bill Gates. Any quick reviews on that?
So basically they told that he started at a very young age and he was passionate about making software, then he was very into computer software thing. He used to work in the lab alone.
Lab alone, and he would work day and night out of passion. He was a college dropout, right? And the funny thing that when he was bestowed an honorary degree, he said that, "Dad, I told you I'll come and get my degree from the college." What else, Ji?
Make a difference in the society. So he left his company and moved towards philanthropy.
Philanthropy was the last part, but the best thing about Bill Gates was that once he was focused on Microsoft, he saw it through to the top. And once he was done with Microsoft, then he shifted all of his focus on philanthropy, and now he is one of the major contributor towards the philanthropic efforts. And we get to hear about his letters a lot in Pakistan that he has written to Prime Minister Imran Khan. All right. From today, we are going to step to another important topic in entrepreneurship, and we will now be focusing on the strategy. I'm sure that you must have been introduced to the concepts of business strategy in your Introduction to Management course. Can you recall a few terms out of that discussions that you had with your, I guess, Madam Sara Tariq? Mission statement, vision statement, goals and objectives, right? What else? What is the difference between the daily operations and strategic management or daily operation management?
Daily operations are short-term goals basically, and the strategic plans are for long-term goals.
Good.
You achieve through the short-term goals.
Okay, good. Today we'll try to understand what strategic management is. We'll try to grasp the concept of competitive advantage, core competency, and also see the steps that are involved in strategic management. And we will also go through vision and mission statement and SWOT analysis. When I say capital in business terms, what comes to your mind?
Money.
Money? Finances?
Yes.
All right.
So resources can be a capital as well.
Profit is a capital? Profit would be part of capital if a portion of it is reinvested in the business. That is called retained earnings in accounting terms. G, capital. What is capital? The resources. What kind of resources? Traditionally, when we utter the word capital, it is associated with the financial contribution of the investors or the owners of the business. And that's how the traditional business has been. Okay, if you have got money, you are smart and you can pull it through. But interestingly, in 21st century, it's not merely the financial capital that you can rely upon. There are few more dimensions to capital that must be taken into consideration. Now the shift has been from financial capital to intellectual capital, and there are three dimensions to it. First one, human capital. Can humans be considered as capital? How?
So workforce.
Workforce, okay.
So even the knowledge they have, that comes with intellect, creativity and all.
Good. What else? Why would we consider humans as capital? Remove faculty from the university, right? Would that be removal of intellectual capital or not?
Yes.
Right? They are the people who are actually delivering things. Here we consider humans as capital if and when the employees of the organization, the employees of the business are creative individuals. When they are hard to replace, when they are skillful, they are able, they are knowledgeable, right? And they are enabled and trained to understand and conduct innovation strategies, plans and processes. Now, if I was to ask you, could you give me any example of any organization where you think that the humans are doing an outstanding job as compared to their competitors? ComStats? Okay, yeah.
Sir, but
With regards to the research productivity, Qaid-e-Azam is good. What else? Your industry.
textile industry.
Give me the name of the player. Nishad, Kadi. Okay. Yeah, how about Toyota? Toyota has got a plant that is mostly operated by robots, but it is looked after by humans as well. Once their plant manager was interviewed that all of this robotic system can be easily replicated. The supplier that has made this whole factory processing unit for you, he can make it for someone else as well. So where is your uniqueness? You know what his reply was? He said that yes, you may replicate the manufacturing facility, but you cannot replicate our human capabilities. Because over decades, we have trained our managers, we have trained our employees, and now they are trained to an extent where they do not always look upwards for input on every matter. They're engaged in self-management. They understand the problems and try to solve it there and then with mutual knowledge and reflection. Japs, or rather Japanese, those people are very smart that apart from doing the mazduri or manufacturing, whatever they do in any industry, they are also good at statistics. Once I came across this documentary which was about the subway drivers that run the subways in Tokyo. I was surprised. Usually one would think, yeah, he would be dealing with two levers, one with the accelerator and the other with the brake. Station se train nikal rahi hai, so he'll be pressing the accelerator, and when he has to stop, he'll be pressing the brake. To my surprise, each driver there is engaged in calculations from one station to the next one. Can you believe it? And why do they do that? In order to make sure that there is not even an iota of discrepancy when it comes to the timings that are to be followed. Human capital. If your employees are not creative, if they are not innovative, if they are unable to come up with the out-of-box solutions, they can probably easily be replicated. And they may not be that much of a capital as compared to a firm where they have got able employees. The second dimension to the capital is your structural capital. When I say structural capital, it actually deals with the accumulated knowledge that that any organization possesses. It would not only include the theory of whatever they are doing, it would also include the experience that the employees, the managers, the management have gained over time, right? It would also include your intellectual properties. That would include patents, copyrights and trademarks. Good. It may also include various processes that you have developed over time that may not be available with your competitors. That actually reminds me of one of my managers at Masood Textile Mills. He was looking after the spinning unit where the input for that process was, spinning unit is where you turn cotton into yarn, okay? So the input would be the bales, compressed bales जो कि आती थी from some other mills. So the first thing that would happen, उसमें उस cotton को खोला जाता था, bales को खोला जाता था, and the cotton would be spread out. So this first unit was responsible for opening up those bales, spreading the cotton apart, and also decontamination of that cotton. That manager was very sensitive towards that particular unit. Although rest of the plant had imported machinery, he wouldn't usually bother about that machinery, but he had very clearly instructed us that do not take any pictures here, because he used to consider himself as the one who had designed that whole process of, we called it carding. The process is called carding if I'm not wrong. So he was of the view that if this gets copied, we will be losing an edge. So that was the structural capital that Masood Textile Mills possessed.
Sir, ये तो pharmacy में होता है ना कि वो drug नहीं बनी है तो like for 30 years वही company drug बनाएगी बाकी drugs नहीं बनाएगी.
That is because वो किस तरह से उसको assurity मिलती है? Through patents. They file patents for that. Okay जी. The third capital is your customer. Could customer be capital? How?
Like new suggestions, ideas.
So कुछ loyal customers होते हैं, they don't turn to other products.
Good. Yeah, first of all, if an organization has got established customer base, right, that's a huge edge that company possesses over its competitors. If the firm enjoys positive reputation among its customers, again, something that the firm can capitalize upon. If the ongoing relation of the firm is going well with the customers, again, something that is beneficial to the firm. Not to forget the goodwill of the firm. So if all of these things are going fine towards the customer in perspective of the firm, they are going to help the company get more and more business, get more and more profits, right? So it may be concluded that now capital is not about just having lots of cash. It is also about having human capital, whereby we have to find individuals whom we can rely upon for creative inputs and innovative products. Structural capital, that being the accumulated knowledge that the organization has developed over time, and customer capital as well. Did I share that link on your biosciences group on Facebook, whereby recently a Chinese firm, they have lost a lot of data that could have been patented, but that person, the entrepreneur, was lazy enough to do that. So what has happened is that employee has taken all the data and he has straight away taken it to the competitors. And now he is struggling. Right? Okie dokies ji. Taimur, do you watch cricket?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard the term कि जी आज मैच की strategy ये होनी चाहिए? Usually Sikandar Bakht is good at telling it while sitting in the studios. What is that? Brief me. What is that match strategy होती क्या है?
सर मतलब कि अब होता है ना हर प्लेयर का अपना माइंडसेट होता है कि उसने मतलब डिफेंस में मतलब डिफेंसिव पोजीशन पे खेलना है या अटैकिंग पोजीशन पे खेलना है, तो वो मतलब जब मैच शुरू होने से पहले हर किसी की अपनी राय होती है. तो जैसे सिकंदर बख्त तक वो मतलब कहता है कि यार आज इनको अटैकिंग क्रिकेट खेलनी चाहिए, मतलब हर किसी को कोशिश करे कि वो अटैक करे, बॉल ज़्यादा डॉट बॉल ना हो उसके पास. तो इस तरह हर किसी की अपनी होती है स्ट्रेटजी.
स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लान को छोड़ें यार, मैच की स्ट्रेटेजी बताएं क्या होती है?
स्ट्रेटेजी इस तरह से होती है कि हम पिच को देख के साथ मतलब कि ये नहीं
Good.
आप फास्ट पिच में जाके आपको बॉल स्विंग हो रहा है तो आप जाके छक्के मारने से होगी सारी तो ये मतलब पिच को भी देखा जाता है और साथ साथ प्लेयर को भी देखा जाता है कि प्लेयर किस लेवल क्या मतलब कि वो
Here are few things just to formulate the whole argument. Yeah, first of all, when you have to develop a game plan, you would look upon the players that you have. Okay, what are their core strengths and weaknesses? Secondly, you would also like to map the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition. कि उनके कौन से players अच्छे हैं और कौन से relatively weak हैं. And then you would also like to take care or take into consideration the pitch condition, the ground conditions as well, along with the humidity and the temperature things. Right? You map everything and then you come up with a plan that yes, if I get this person on the first and second position and third position in the batting order, and if I can get these two fast bowlers attacking and then coupled up with 3 or 4 spinners, yes, I can go for winning this game. So first of all, you understand what you have, you try to understand what your competition has, and you tend to understand the environment in which you are going to play. Strategic management, ji, it is crucial in building a successful business. One simple difference, see, the day-to-day operations is just like if you are looking at a building from its gate. And it would look huge, but you can see into very finer details that who is entering, who is exiting. When it comes to the strategic plan, you do not stand at the gate. You step back 100 feet and you have got a good view of the whole building. And that gives you altogether different perspective as compared to being standing at the gate. It would involve developing a game plan to guide the company as it strives to accomplish its mission, goals and objectives, and keep it on the desired course. An important element in strategic management is competitive advantage. So what is competitive advantage? Competitive advantage is the aggregation of factors that set a company apart from its competitors and give it a unique position in market that is superior to its customers. Let's try to understand this concept. Could you guys recall from your childhood that there used to be movie rental shops?
Yes, sir.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
Have you witnessed anyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? Prior to you guys coming to this world, we had video cassette shops. They would lend the movies in forms of cassettes. And that was a business that was thriving in United States as well. So each community, each market would be having 2 or 3 stores which would rent out the videos. The average cost of that tape in United States for the movie rental store, because there are intellectual property rights enforced in the United States, so they could not simply copy and keep copying and distributing the videos. So they will have to buy original tapes for rental business. Each tape used to cost a journal store that would be renting out videos $66. Quite a lot of, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 6,600? 143 by the way, today it's 144 rather. Yes. $66. And the business was going well, but then something happened called Blockbuster. What Blockbuster did was that he actually contacted the suppliers of the videos, who were selling the videos for $66 each. They offered them that if you could reduce the price of the videos we can make you partners in ongoing rental revenue stream. So in traditional business, they would simply sell off the video and they've got nothing to do with that videotape thereafter. But Blockbuster was offering them that give us the tape on a cheaper rate, and when we rent it out, so a chunk of that rental income would be shared with you. You know the price that they struck? Blockbuster started getting each tape for, guess how much? $6. And in no time, Blockbuster was already rooting out all the local small players in the industry. Now imagine where a local store would buy one record, Blockbuster would be getting almost 11 in the same budget. And with such a huge supply and variety, they became the first choice of the customers. And literally it was Blockbuster everywhere throughout the States. Now, इसमें हुआ क्या कि they developed a factor that was low cost provision of the raw material or of the stuff that was to be rented out. This enabled them to get the competition out of the business. Right? An associated concept is core competencies. While competitive advantage were the factors, core competencies are the unique set of capabilities that a firm develops in key areas such as superior quality, customer service, innovation, team building, flexibility, responsiveness, and others that allow it to vault past its competitors. Blockbuster की जो position है, it looks firm. Now nobody can challenge it because no one else can have videos at $6. But it was to be rivaled with another player called Netflix. Netflix guys did some calculations and they figured out that although Blockbuster is paying $6 for each record, but yet they have to pay the rental value for each shop that they rent. They have to have few employees that are required to run that operation or the management of that operation. They came up with a smarter solution. They strategically located and rather made 58 establishments throughout the United States. And they were basically the warehouses of Netflix where they will have plenty of videos for everyone to rent out. And it was more of a postal service. And they introduced this subscription model that if you subscribed on the monthly basis, you will get major discounts. Another thing that Netflix introduced, that they abolished the late fee. Usually Blockbuster would charge you in case if you failed to return the videos on time. Third thing that Netflix did, it introduced the viewers reviews. So if I was to watch a movie, before actually making that choice, I could go online and read the reviews of the other people who had already watched the movie. And that facilitated in making my decision. The best part was the coding that they did to manage the whole operation. So the model was pretty simple. You would get the videos by mail, you would watch them, and each lifafa that you would get the video in, it would be having another envelope that was self-addressed to the nearest store. So once you have watched the video, you would put it in the envelope and throw it in the post box, and it would by the next day return to the nearest warehouse. And it actually undermined the whole model of Blockbuster, and it busted the Blockbuster out of the business. So it may be said that yes, competitive advantages are great to have, but after possessing one and thinking that now I'm safe and nobody is going to bother me, no. Business world is cruel. Can you give me some other example? Anybody who is fan of mobile phones here? BlackBerry? Ever used one? What was its unique point? Yeah, the major thing was their messenger, BlackBerry to BlackBerry messenger. And they would usually think, gee, this is something, an executive feature, and it cannot be replicated. Thanks to two things. No, first of all, Android. And secondly, provision of internet everywhere. That whole platform that BlackBerry used to sell as a very unique thing, it was no more needed. And they went out of business. सर आई अग्री विद यू, मैं गुजारिश ये कर रहा हूँ कि व्हाट्सएप के लिए भी पहले कुछ चलाने के लिए चीज़ें चाहिए कि नहीं. Without internet, how could you operate WhatsApp? And without Android and iOS, how could you, and it's not just WhatsApp. We used to have some other services as well. Viber used to be there. Emo is pretty popular. It's not just the WhatsApp. WhatsApp is more popular in the academic and the office environments. In domestic environments, it's Emo and other calling services that are being used more. Particularly the ones with relatives who are located internationally, Emo is the favorite software. Nokia, once it was the giant of mobile manufacturing, and it was blown away in no time, thanks to, again, Android. So Android was a free software available for anyone to fix mobile hardware and sell it. And earlier it used to be a painstaking exercise for the mobile manufacturers to first focus on development of softwares and then hardware.
So even Sony Ericsson phones
Yeah.
can be an example. So because the camera was outstanding, that's why their phones sell. Otherwise, like they won't sell. But now there are a lot of phones with very good quality cameras at low price.
And Sony Ericsson is to be seen nowhere.
No, right?
Right? This was an example I would like to discuss later, but anyways, let's discuss it now. Ericsson is an American firm known for its mobile sets, but one thing it lacked was that it did not know how to make cameras. On the other hand, Sony was famous for its cybershot technology in cameras, but one thing it did not know well to do was manufacturing of mobile phones. So they did an alliance together and came up with this Sony Ericsson mobile series, which at least if it didn't go out of the sky or go out of the roof, at least it was able to make a dent, and it was known brand in all the markets throughout the world. So coming to the core competency, we need to figure out that the competence that we consider as our competence, if that competence is hard to copy or not. For instance, all of a sudden we came across this Nutella naan, and this shop was famous like anything in Pindi, Islamabad. And in no time, there were Nutella naan shops all over Pindi in Islamabad. So this was a core competency that was easy to copy, and it was not that durable, because yes, you will eat that naan for a couple of times or maybe 5 times or 6 times, but you cannot sustain that kind of taste for a very, very long period of time. And the competency needs to be competitively superior as compared to the products of the competitors. So this is the model in which we can see the various dimensions of capital, core competency, and sustainable competitive advantage and their interplay. The lessons learned are the structural capital, as we had discussed earlier. The skills of the employees and the capability of the employees would be the human capital of the firm. When they merge, when they work together, they result in development of core competencies, which translate and become competitive advantages through which firms tend to give you superior value for customers. So we'll just go through the strategic management process. The first step is to develop a vision and translate it into a mission statement. Second step, assess strengths and weaknesses. That would be the internal scanning. Step 3 is scanning the environment for opportunities and threats, external scanning. Number 4, identification of key success factors. Analysis of competition would be the step 5. And step 6, we create goals and objectives. In step 7, we formulate strategies. And in step 8, we translate those strategies. Once decided कि हमें ये strategy pursue करनी है, we tend to translate those strategies into actionable plans. And last but not the least is the step 9, where we tend to establish accurate controls in order to determine whether the execution of the strategy is on the track or not. हाँ जी, vision statement क्या होती है? What is vision statement? ठीक है जी. What is vision?
So basically जो आपका ओरिजिनल ड्रीम होता है, वो जो आप बेसिकली मार्केट में चेंज लाना चाह रहे हैं, वो आपका विजन.
ठीक है बच्चे, आप लोग काफी अर्से बाद नजर आए. The last 3. विजन क्या होता है और मिशन क्या होता है?
सर जो आप प्रोसीजर करते हैं सेम दैट एम.
Yeah, let's try to understand through making a hypothetical vision and mission. Okay. Here, let's assume that there is a firm called Fresh Farms Food Private Limited. So first I'm going to write down the vision and then mission. Right, you have written two statements. I'll read them aloud for you. The one on the left says, we aim to help residents of Twin Cities lead healthy and happy lives through provision of fresh and nutritious food. This is the vision. और उसके against associated mission statement says to be the number one produce store. What is a produce store? The shops that sell fresh vegetables and fruits are called produce stores. To be the number one produce store in Twin Cities, providing quality produce delivered within the 24 hours of harvest with superior customer satisfaction. Now, in order to ensure that the vegetables and fruits that I am selling are quality, how can we ensure that? We taste every orange.
So the process, actually, like,
Is taste the only attribute?
sir, you should be using organic fertilizers.
smell, color, freshness,
Good, good. Or size, color, weight, average weight. Yet quality as per the ISO definition. ISO certifications देखी हुई है आपने ISO 9001 certification है. Usually the organization, even CompStats is ISO certified. As per the ISO definition or framework, quality is conformance to standards. So when we say that we want to sell quality produce or quality vegetables or quality fruit, we need to first define what qualifies as quality. So we may like to know what would be the acceptable weight or size of, let's say, oranges. So anything that exceeds that acceptable limit, even the oranges are bigger or smaller, in both cases they would be rejected, right? So in order to have the quality produce delivered to us, इसका मतलब क्या है कि we need to first train our suppliers and enhance their understanding of quality as well. So training and having reliable suppliers. Within 24 hours of harvest, it would mean what? Sorry? हाँ, क्या होता है उसको? वो कैसे टेस्ट होते हैं? यार, रिजेक्ट मैं आपको बताता हूँ. Thanks for asking. There are orange processing units, जितने आपके exports हो रहे हैं, तो उनके पास यार strainers लगे हुए होते हैं. तो anything that is under that size or over that size, ये दो different steps के अंदर differentiate होंगे. You are talking about oranges, even rice can be differentiated. जो smaller size है वो अलग हो जाता है और जो larger size है वो अलग हो जाता है. So I'm sure that your curiosity could lead you to in food technology, and it is not a very complicated process. It can be easily done. That would be your personal choice. I personally do not prefer larger oranges. Here, compare the average size orange with the larger one. My experience is that they are usually dry, the bigger ones.
Yes, sir. Dry, sir.
Though they are very appealing, they are well polished. Presentation उसकी बड़ी ज़बरदस्त होती है. You end up paying double the amount as compared to the normal size orange, and the juice that you extract out of that, almost half of the average size orange. But that's my personal perception. I know आप लोग आपके गांव में शायद बड़े oranges ज़्यादा fruitful. There you go. Listen to your fellows. Exactly. 24 hours के अंदर harvest to shelf of the store. This would require supply chain management, whereby we have got a good network of suppliers associated with good shipping or movement provisions. Last but not the least is superior customer satisfaction. When was the last time you had a pleasant experience while buying vegetables or fruits? I'm still to recall. Good for you. Customer satisfaction, if it is the focus, then probably we need to train our sales staff on how to deal with the customers. Probably we'll train them on wearing a smile on their face every time they encounter the customer, even in those instances when the customer has brought our produce back to return it. They should again do that with a smile. So that would again require training of staff. So, these are all part of strategy. So if these are the competitive advantages I want to bank upon in order to differentiate my business from others, these will be the competencies I need to work upon first. And if you could recall the diagrams where we were talking about the interplay of the human skills and the structured knowledge and the human capital, that leads to what? Core competencies, which ultimately translate into competitive advantage on basis of which you can provide superior customer service. Quick question, query ji? No? Clear? Now, this claim is not common. It's a bold one. I was surprised when I got to see a label at Marks and Spencer's store and they were selling this seafood, and they had this large lobster whose label said it has been caught only 24 hours prior to getting to this shelf in United Kingdom. And you know where that was caught? Off the coast of Indonesia, near Australia. How is it possible that they can catch a lobster and have him packed, cleaned, and flown across 2 continents, rather on the very other side of Europe, and again on shelf, sitting on the shelf of a store? कैसे हो सकता है यार ये? झूठ बोल रहे थे? Impossible है ना?
Sir, management, proper management.
Magic? Smart strategies. That's where the animal right guys come into play. Exactly. They would catch them and they will keep in the net for 2 or 3 days while they would be on the fishing spree. So once they get back on shore, they would unload the whole ship right outside the packing facility. So within few hours, that product is already dead and packed and straight away taken to the planes to be flown to the developed countries. So that's how the organizations develop their core competencies and competitive advantages. Okay, ji, vision is rather more like a dream. Vision is just like if the company is successful in meeting its objectives and meeting its mission statement, what impact it would have on the society at large. In this case, if the customers get to have quality food, fresh food, and with good customer satisfaction, it may be helping them lead a healthier life, and the people who are generally healthy can be relatively happier as well. So with success of this whole operation, this would be the end result. And the best part, we do not show our greed in our mission and vision statement. We do not tell KG we are doing all of this for money. So vision is more like a dream, and what is its benefit? It would provide you direction. Whenever caught up in dilemma, whenever caught up in choices, you can always relate to the vision care, ultimately what is the direction that we want to move towards. It would determine your decisions, and in cases of few organizations, it even motivates the employees, particularly the organizations in the non-governmental sector. There are few people who are just associated with those organizations just because of their vision and mission statements. The mission statement is a written expression of how the company will reflect on entrepreneurs' value, beliefs and vision more than just making money. And it also serves as a strategic compass. Now here is an interesting statistics. Survey of employees, 89% of the employees say that their companies have a mission statement, but only 23% of the workers believe that their company's mission statement has become a way of doing business. So merely having a vision statement or mission statement does not help unless it is embodied into day-to-day operations by the top management. The things that have been valued in vision and mission statements, they should also be reflected in day-to-day dealings of the top management and the rest of the business. Otherwise, these statements are no more than the ceremonial fillers for your web pages and promotional material. The next step is to assess the strengths and weaknesses of the firm. I'm sure you must have done the SWOT analysis.
Yes, sir.
So what are strengths? Very simply, these are the positive internal factors of an organization that can be capitalized upon and that can be used to our benefit. And it could be also used to achieve our mission, goal and objective. Whereas weakness would be the negative internal factors that may inhibit company's ability to achieve its mission, goal or objectives. So if we were to assess company strengths, what could we look for? First of all, the core competencies of the firm. If the firm has developed some core competencies, it could be a differentiating factor for that business. If the firm has got strong financial condition, ample financial resources to grow the business. If we could relate back to the Bill Gates documentary, and if you could recall that the interviewer asked her that you have stacked a huge amount of cash aside, and his reply was that in the business that we are in, the shifts are abrupt and they are fast. And he has kept that financial muscle in order to ensure that if some abrupt change comes, he is able to adopt to the change. That otherwise won't be possible. So was the challenge with Nokia and BlackBerry. If your company has got strong brand name or if the company reputation is good. Example ji. Cardi coming again and again. I've got a lot of Cardi fans here. Sorry? This summer it's limelight. Okay. Economy of scale. क्या होती है जी? Sorry? Yes. Here, if you have set up a factory, if you produce 100 units or 1000 units, the investment is already done. The building is there. Now more you produce, the average cost of the unit would fall down, and ultimately it would increase your profits. So economies of scale is about having the ability to produce in bulk, thus directly reducing the production cost that gets reflected either in offering low prices to the customers, or even if you're offering high prices, that would be reflected in the profitability of the organization. If the firm has got some proprietary technology or superior technological skills or important patents. Now there are so many firms that are selling the LCDs or LEDs these days. I mean, go to any shop and you'll have plethora of brands. But from which company does the innovative output come in this industry? Sony. Sony is the undisputed leader in the LCD TV industry, followed by Samsung. Talk about gas engines. Gas engines, petrol engines. The best firm in the world that manufactures the best petrol engines is Honda. Best petrol engines are developed and manufactured by Honda. If you have got cost advantages over rivals, Blockbuster के example अभी हम लोगों ने discuss किए. Product innovation capabilities. Now here comes the NIRC back to the picture again. Merely having the supposed innovation capabilities may not be enough. And that's the stigma of NIRC. Go there and each scientific officer there would show you the plethora of research that he has done. That I've come up with this breed and X, Y, Z, I've done this. And when you ask them, okay, what impact your research had on the farmer's life and on the yield that they are getting, nothing. As a result, to bridge this gap, they came up with this PATCO, and still they are nowhere near the targets. If you have got proven capabilities in improvement of production processes, Japanese are good at it. They've got this open door, open mind policy whereby even a common factory worker is learned enough and he has been trained enough in statistics and general management techniques, and they tend to use these self-managed teams rather than looking back again and again to the top management for even an iota of advice. So they tend to improvise the process to the possible extent on their own. If you have got good supply chain management capabilities, remember that lassi example that I gave you? I mean, even if you have got the brand going on, people know about your product, but if you are not able to deliver that product when it is needed, you are nowhere. So basically the fast-moving consumer goods tend to rely upon good supply chain management capabilities. It is. More or less you can find it everywhere now. Another area of strength is your good customer service capabilities. Example ji. Can anybody recall an excellent customer service experience? Kabhi hua hai? No?
Yes, sir.
Example बताएं.
What's an F11?
बताएं क्या एक्सपीरियंस है आपका?
Sir, like sometimes ऐसा होता है कि उनकी चीजें डिफॉल्टेड निकल आती हैं और आप अगर उनको वापस दें तो वो बड़े हैप्पीली ले लेते
चलें, गुड.
करीब मतलब ये है कि एकदम मैं आ रहा था तो उसकी कोई डाटा में इशू आ गया, तो जब मेरे जो उधर चार्जेस पेयर्स बंद थे तो वो तकरीबन 250 बंद थे, यहाँ पर उसने 560 चार्ज की, मैंने कंप्लेन की तो मैंने वापस रिटर्न कर दिया.
ओके. और जी, एक्सीलेंट कस्टमर सर्विस जी तैमूर. गुड.
सर अगर हम लोग इसको किसी नेशनल बैंक के साथ कंपेयर करें सर, मुझे पिछले दिनों के साथ जाना हुआ था तो हम दोनों में गए थे सर एक ही दिन में, तो मतलब नेशनल बैंक वालों को मतलब बिहेवियर रूम टाइप सा था, लेकिन इनका सर मतलब बहुत फ्रेंडली था, एक चीज़ को उन्होंने फॉर्म भी उन्होंने.
If you had a choice, given the product that you or the kind of account that you want to open, the interest rates or whatever dynamics that are related to that particular account, if they are the same being offered by National Bank or Bank Al-Falah, which bank would you go for? And why would that be? Customer service? There you go. Uh-huh.
सर वहाँ पे एक्सेल एक बार हमने विज़न में तो उसका टेस्ट वैसा डिफरेंट था वो उन्होंने
चेंज कर दिया था. Good.
कम्प्लीमेंट्री साथ उसके
Nachos भी दिए थे. Happy? Good. Here, let me give you another example. Hoteling industry is based upon two main variables: location and good customer service. I mean, hotels cannot survive without good customer service. And how about relating or understanding the leader in hoteling industries? Paris Hilton का नाम किस किसने सुना हुआ जी? सुना हुआ है? Hilton Hotels का नाम किस किसने सुना हुआ? Hilton Hotels. Hilton. Here at Hilton Hotels, they have given this authority to all of the employees after training that if they find the customers unhappy about any service, they can reduce the bill without even having to ask their manager if they can do it or not. That's the kind of confidence that they have given to their employees. But they have done it after ensuring that first of all their general services are at a very good level, where this provision is usually not required. But even if anybody is not happy, then this mechanism comes to the play. Go to Serena and it might take 3 or 4 calls in hierarchy to get your problem sorted. So you can easily compare the kind of customer services that you may enjoy at both ends. इसके अलावा जी, if the quality of the product is superior as compared to the rivals. Examples जी. K&Ns, you go for K&Ns because you find it better than rivals. And the other non-food items भी है कोई यहाँ पे या everybody's after K&Ns? Khadi?
Sir, the body shop product.
The body shop? Okay. Airlines, which airline? Emirates, we prefer Emirates if we want to go for a luxurious travel. और जी, आप लोग खामोश हैं. समझ में? Okay जी. Another strength that the organization could have is wide geographical coverage and distribution capability. Yeah, I bet start from Landi Kotal and get to Gwadar. Anywhere you stop where you find a shop, you will get to have those terrible Lays, crisps. You get to have Nestle Pure Life water. You get to have these journal branded things. Those products may not necessarily be the best in the industry, but it's the capability to provide them at a wide geographical area that make us loyal to those products. Pepsi and Coke are also, Coke is the most known brand, and it's the most well-known brand because it is available at most of the spots. Then you could have alliances and joint ventures with other firms that provide access to valuable technology. For instance, HEC's joint venture with Microsoft, through which the universities and the faculty is getting access to original Microsoft products, including Windows and Office. That otherwise was not possible. ठीक है जी, clear? So what do we look for in companies' weaknesses? If the firm does not possess any clear direction, strategic direction, if the core competencies are not developed, if the balance sheet is weak, which means that you are poor financially, or may not be strong at least financially, If your unit costs as compared to competitors are higher, if your product or features are inferior to those of rivals, if your R&D capacities and technological know-how is lower than your competitors, if you are reliant upon one or two individuals for the whole decision making, and that is again a challenge of SMEs, small and medium enterprises. Usually there would be one or two guys looking after the whole operation, and the moment that man is gone, the challenge is huge there to cater. So the lack of management depth again could be a weakness. And even the business is going fine, that if you're doing good, but if there is possibility of expanding your business and you do not have resources to do that, that again would be falling under the weakness of the organization. And that would conclude our today's talk. Thank you so very much.